I kind of always played music. I don't remember a time when I wasn't playing music, but initially it was violin and piano. In my teens, a friend of mine got a bass guitar and I left it at my house and I decided I preferred that. So then I became a bass guitarist. But at that time I was listening to a lot of jazz, and just the sound of the upright bass just got me really excited, basically. And I played the bass guitar until I could afford a double bass. My inspirations for playing were Charles Mingus, Barry Guy, Joël Léandre. It's a strange instrument. It started life as a 3-string bass, and over the years it's been adapted to 5 strings. We think this bass is about 1880s, 1890s, something like that. Probably German, but I'm not too sure. There's no labels or anything inside it. I bought it from a great bass player called Alan Morgan when he retired, and he'd had it for 50 years. He said he bought it from someone who'd had it for 50 years before that. So one of the joys of playing a string instrument is that the way you play it affects the way it sounds, and the way it sounds affects the way you play, and it becomes a kind of positive feedback. So yeah, it's intrinsic to my life as a musician, this instrument. It's beyond precious. I think this library will be useful to composers because it's offering a wider palette, more tools, more flavors, more sounds. So hopefully it'll help people realize what they're trying to achieve, and also possibly suggest other options that hadn't occurred to them. These sounds might get into more composers' work, and it's happening more and more, isn't it? You hear influences in film music now from the noise scene, from contemporary classical music. Just the palette has got wider and wider, and I think that's really interesting. I think if you asked a lot of recording engineers, one of the main challenges is just getting an accurate representation of the sound in the room. So much of the instrument is about physicality. So I think capturing that accurately is a real challenge. The thing about the double bass is it doesn't want to speak. You have to convince it that it's going to speak, and then once it starts speaking, it's a little like steering a freight tanker or something. It's once it's started, it wants to keep going in the direction that you set off, and so convincing it to move when you want it to is a big challenge. And then doing that sampling-wise, trying to do that consistently is a real challenge. I'm Seth Bennett, and this is Contemporary Soloist Bass.